Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching BAM, the Political Vigilante, the People's Channel, folks. We're making Gotham great again. That's what we're doing. We've got vegan guns. We've got tour dates coming, folks. Lee Camp and I, Government Secrets Live in Berlin, October 5th, London, October 12th. Then I'm doing stand-up comedy to get ready for my special. New York City, October 20th, Madison, Wisconsin, October 21st, Detroit, the 22nd, Cincinnati, and then taping the special in my sweet home, Chicago, October 26th. All tickets are at grahamelwood.com. Thank you. We'll see you at a live show. Another great way to support the show, in addition to buying a ticket to a live show, is to go to patreon.com/grahamelwood, where this was submitted by Tim Stack. I'm going to show you this clip in a second. It's a great way to support what we're doing. And the thing I love about it is you guys tell me about stuff. That's why I call it the People's Channel. You guys are helping me do this. You guys are out there. You're all citizens of Gotham. You are all political vigilantes out there telling me about this. So we've talked a lot on this show about how the U.S. is flexing its muscles way too much. All of its sanctioning, its endless war budgets that keep getting increased. We just found out, I did a video on this, that bipartisan Congress, democratically controlled Congress, but the Republicans love war too, just increased Joe Biden's war budget to $839 billion, up from $778 billion. They gave him an extra $37 billion he didn't even ask for. No arguments, no hem and haw, no this or that, no debate, nothing. Just boom. We tried to get, a $378 billion so-called green energy, environmental climate bill. Oh man, there's fights and this and that. And that's spread out over 10 years. So that's $37 billion a year for 10 years. Oh, fighting, Joe Manchin, all this drama. You want more money for war? Boom, done. Not even a debate, not even a blink, not even a wait, nothing just gets passed. So America likes to think that it has, Russia and China are completely isolated. No, America is becoming isolated. I've shown you this before. I've told you how, look, China and Russia are lining up. And they have massive economies. And India is signing up with Russia. And we keep sanctioning. We keep going to the end of this wars. And it's costing us. It's going to cost the American people. And you know who else thinks that? The president of Nicaragua. I want to show you this. I'm not going to show you the whole speech, but listen to what this guy says. And you will, I doubt, see any excerpts of this speech anywhere on the corporate media. You just won't see it. So here it is.
Hoy, queridos hermanos nicaragüenses, querida familia, un mundo que va de explosión en explosión, y son explosiones que tienen que ver con, como lo decía, lo mencionaba en una ocasión, tienen que ver con el parto. Está naciendo en el mundo un nuevo orden. Está naciendo un nuevo orden que sepulta al imperialismo, sepulta a los colonialistas y abre campo a una democracia de naciones. Un multipolarismo que se está manifestando de diversas formas. Vemos las iniciativas surgiendo en diferentes espacios. Y vemos, por otro lado, al imperialismo norteamericano tratando de mantener su hegemonía a toda costa, aún a riesgo de hundir su propia economía.
Even at the risk of sinking its own economy. And if they do show a clip of this on the corporate media, they're like, oh, Ortega's crazy. He's one of our adversaries. Putin's pulling his strings or whatever. No one, listen to this guy's words. Just, he's being very clear of how America is killing itself.
Pero en la actitud prepotente de sentirse que todavía pueden mantener su hegemonía, que pueden y deben defender su hegemonía, lo que están haciendo es hundiéndose ellos mismos. Y se están hundiendo ellos mismos. Y le están provocando un gran daño al pueblo norteamericano. Y con todas las sanciones que le han impuesto a la Federación Rusa, que está librando una guerra justa contra el fascismo, contra el nazismo.
There's something you don't hear. Russia is waging a just war against fascism and Nazism. Again, we've covered that numerous times on this show that no one in American media or anywhere in the West will talk about. The neo-Nazi organizations operating within Ukraine. Now, you could say, oh, Ortega, this or that, he's buddies with, but we won't even, why can we even say that on Western media? We're not allowed to even bring that up. I'm just telling you, America, we're alone. It's us in Western Europe, and Western Europe, we're forcing them into us. And I'm sure there's starting to be leaders within Western Europe that are like, man, this is not good. But
está enquistado ahí en el poder de los golpistas en Ucrania. Están destruyendo la economía europea. Están liquidando la OTAN también. La están liquidando. Con cada acción agresiva. Con las múltiples decisiones que han tomado para tratar de destruir a la Federación Rusa. Y también tienen como objetivo destruir a la República Popular China. Porque los ven como los dos grandes poderes que los están rebasando ya. Están rebasando en cuanto a desarrollo, en cuanto a ciencia, en cuanto a tecnología. Y se han ido contra la Federación Rusa. Y ahí está Rusia dando la batalla contra el fascismo. Una batalla contra el fascismo. El fascismo no desapareció con la caída del búnker, donde los primeros en llegar fueron los soldados del Ejército Rojo.
Yep.
Y clavaron la bandera ahí, donde había estado el puesto de mando del tirano Hitler. El fascismo dejó sus raíces y está enquistado en algunos países europeos. ¿Sí? En países europeos, donde abiertamente, y está enquistado en la sociedad norteamericana.
So he just said fascism, after they got rid of Hitler, still was embedded in many European countries, which is absolutely true, and in North America. Now, that's something I've covered on this show in Government Secrets. We've talked about this. Operation Paperclip. We literally brought Nazis here to work on our science and space program. I mean, we did not eradicate Nazism in World War II. We just shut down Germany and then let some key people flourish. We talked about on Government Secrets, Operation Bloodstone, where we used Nazis to help undermine communist countries after World War II. This guy's not wrong. This guy's not wrong.
For just $67, you can make as many videos.
So the point of me showing this is numerous reasons. One, to say that me, Lee Camp, Ron Paul, a handful of us are the only ones, talking about the fact that there's Nazis in the Ukraine. I've shown you videos, a BBC documentary from 2015. We've shown, Democracy Now! And other mainstream channels 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago going, this isn't good. I told you how in 1998, the first time we voted to move NATO east, several American senators, both Republican and Democrat, were like, this isn't a good idea. I don't like what Putin has done. I don't like his invasion, but he's never depicted as a guy that just doesn't want Nazis on his border. We have to go to all these alternative news sources or European news. We have to go to Vivo, which is like a Central American news outlet. Are any excerpts from Ortega's speech that we just watched, are any of them going to be shown in American media? No. If they do, they'll take one little clip. I didn't edit any of that. It's a full 19-minute speech. If they did, they'll just take one part and be like, oh, see, he's got the Chinese delegation there. Yeah, because China is not out bombing everybody and sanctioning everybody. People say, but China does this and that. Okay, great. China's done some bad things. Let's hold them accountable. But we're going to act like they've done anything worse. No one has done anything worse than the United States in the last 20 years. Nobody. No one has. We spent $10 trillion. There's 6 million people dead. Thousands of American service members dead. And 22 vets a day commit suicide for what? So that Goldman Sachs and, Boeing and Raytheon stock price can go up? So that CEOs can get bonuses while American sons and daughters fight these corporate wars? You would think 20 years and $10 trillion, the global war on terror, we would have won it. It's over. Terrorism is done. If you would have asked me September 12th, 2001, that we're going to, in 20 years from now, we're going to spend this much money, terrorism would be done. The world's a flourishing place. There's thriving democracies. We can actually spend time and money now reversing climate change. No. And what does China do through its Silk Road Initiative? It goes to countries like Nicaragua and Venezuela. And yeah, it needs its oil. It needs its resources, but they build them up a port. They're building rail all throughout Africa because they see it as an emerging market. And even from the most cynical of eyes, they're still playing it the right way. They don't go in and bomb and sanction Africa. They go, here's money. And some people say, China's pulled some of its money out. Yeah, they're doing business. They come in and say, we want this and this, we'll give you money. And then if we don't get it, we're going to leave. Okay, sure. That's something to be critical of. But are they bombing anybody? There's 377,000 dead people in Yemen. China wasn't involved in that war. Russia, it's us. It's us and Saudi Arabia. So America thinks that Russia is this scared, isolated, crazy country. No, we are. And I'm here to tell you, these sirens are probably coming to get me because they have too much truth. You're going to kick in my door in a second. And as he said, as the President Ortega just said, America is doing this at its own detriment. Like, we're going to collapse our own economy with this never-ending war spending and sanctioning. I've shown you video after video after video over the years. We have a crumbling infrastructure. Right now, there's floods. Crazy floods in Texas. Downtown Dallas just got flooded. We don't spend money on infrastructure. We've got fires, floods, droughts. And of course, the Texas floods that just happened are what the floods that keep happening everywhere, where there's massive drought and then crazy amounts of rain in a short amount of time. The soil is too hard. It can't absorb it. So it creates super floods, basically, where the water just comes rushing through the hardened mud like concrete. But we're going to send another what? How much have we sent to Ukraine? And the United States doesn't care about the Ukrainian people. We don't. The United States government doesn't. American citizens might, yes. What's happening to the Ukrainian people is awful, but they need to understand America helped create this problem, and America does not care about the Ukrainian people at all. The American government cares about money and profit and power. But that's all coming undone because that's what that President Ortega just said, and he said it to the Chinese. There's clearly a delegate from China. China's just quietly waiting for us to collapse and eat ourselves, and that's what we're going to do. That's what's going to happen. And when you spend endless money on war and you don't spend it on your own citizens, $10 trillion? And Joe Biden is talking about maybe giving $10,000 back in student debt forgiveness, 10 grand. Let's say you got $150,000 in student debt. You only get 10 grand, and it's only for people that have made less than 120. So there's all these stipulations. And then Americans that have been so brainwashed are like, why should my taxes go to pay for that? Student debt forgiveness doesn't cost you any extra tax dollars at all. The amount of trillions of dollars we spend on these ridiculous wars, we could wipe out. It's 1.5 trillion is student debt forgiveness. That wipes out all student debt. 1.5 trillion. We could have free healthcare, free college. You wipe out student debt and you just make college free, like they've had in Europe and stuff like that for 70 years. You have an educated, responsible electorate. Then you have this thing that's called, what's the word I'm looking for? An actual democracy rather than what we have now, which is a kleptocracy run by oligarchs. I always tell you, follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. That's what this is. And we allow fascism to flourish here. We allow neo-Nazis to flourish here. War's profitable. That's why we keep spending all this money on it. If we cut our military budget in half, China's the second most spending on military. If the US cut its military budget in half, we would still outspend China by over $200 billion. They spend about $190 billion a year on their military. So we're just upping our budget now to 839. So we cut that in half, that'd be like $418 billion we would spend, which would be over $200 billion more. That's if we cut it in half. Unreal. I know many of you are facing foreclosure. You're facing eviction. You got to repay. We all got to repay our small business loans because our businesses were all shut down during the pandemic. I couldn't do stand-up for 16 months, man. I got to repay my loan. You got to repay your loan. But the big banks and the big investment companies and the billionaires on Wall Street, 100 new billionaires were created. But the American citizens, food lines, tent cities, crumbling infrastructure, but Wall Street's taken care of. And the war machine keeps marching on. Yeah? Anybody ever drive by a VA that needs some funding? Yeah, that's what we think of our veterans. Thank you for your service. That's all we give a shit. Thank you for your service. Oh, thank you for your service. We'll thank you at a ball game or something like that, but we're not going to spend real money to help veterans. That's why there's 22 suicides a day. A day. That's an offensive number. But yeah. So Nicaraguan president called it out. And I showed it to you here. So that's why you guys come here. Like I said, it's the People's Channel. You guys make this happen. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. That's what the Nicaraguan president just did. Thanks for watching. Support what we do here, guys. Go to GrahamElwood.com. You can go to a live show. I'm coming to a city near you. A lot of ways to support what we're doing. Shave your knuckles for justice.